What's good? It's your boy Fanon. All right, man. Errol Spence Jr. out there clowning on Terence Crawford, saying he ain't afraid of nobody. He ain't gonna lose to nobody from Nebraska. And how he would beat that boy's behind, man. It is funny. Anyway, man, it was on his Instagram live, man. I'm gonna talk about that. Also, Freddie Roach predicts that the former trainer of Amir Khan says he's got too many bad habits to beat Terence Crawford. And also, I'm going to talk about the likelihood of this Terence Crawford Errol Spence Jr. fight happening. Before I do that, though, welcome back to the channel, subscribers. If you are not subscribed, press the subscribe button and then hit the notification bell, and you'll be notified of when we release more videos. Also, to the Patreons, check out the new videos we got up on the Patreon. If you are a regular subscriber, subscribe to Patreon. We got a lot of really good advice for young professionals and other type of non-boxing conversations I think you guys will really like. Also, check out the live streams that we do Monday through Friday and Saturday mornings, 10:30 to 10:45 a.m. Central Standard Time on Monday through Fridays, and on Sundays, OG Boxing Talk at 8 a.m. Definitely check out the programs. I think that you'll really like them. We have really great conversations. Now, man, the comedy first, man. I'm listening to Errol Spence Jr. on his Instagram. I think it was Instagram Live. You know, man, I actually got referred to that by Boxing Ego, did a video on it. So, definitely check out his work, man. I ain't floating around on Instagram Live too much. But so he was clowning. He talked about how he wasn't ever going to lose nobody from Nebraska. He ain't been scared of anybody since he was scared of the dark. Just having fun, man. Doing what young men do, having fun. And he talked about not being willing to fight Canelo too. So, just kind of feeling himself, man. And I like that, man. He just had a big win. Hopefully he's staying in the gym, keeping his weight down, and keeping himself in tip-top shape to get ready for this next fight. Hopefully this next fight will be against Sean Porter. But, Sean Porter, man, he'll probably come. Who knows, man? They'll come up with something. They want it on pay-per-view, but more than likely it's not going to be on pay-per-view. All that type of stuff, man. So, I take anything. I take that Errol Spence Sean Porter fight with a grain of salt. But back on the subject of the video, Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford, man, this Amir Khan thing is going to be important. I'm already convinced. I already am, predicting. I think it's a 10th round stoppage, somewhere around there, 9th, 10th round stoppage for Terence Crawford on Amir Khan, man. He's gonna find a way to get something. He's gonna find a way to crack that chin, eventually. I see it going like that, man. It might be a little bit back and forth over the first few rounds, but eventually Terence Crawford's gonna get, Terence Crawford's gonna hit him with something that boy ain't gonna be able to get up from. If he does get up from it, he's gonna be wobbling. He's gonna be doing the stanky legs, wobbling around the ring type of move. Terence Crawford is like that, man. And Amir Khan, is way off his, he's way off his best, man. He's way off his best, and it's just how I see that fight going. But the most important thing about that Amir Khan, though, really, I think, is how well the fight does, how well the numbers do for the fight. Because this is a pay-per-view fight. It's a $50 pay-per-view fight, from what I understand, offered by ESPN pay-per-view. And this is coming right off of Errol Spence Jr. and Mikey Garcia doing, close to 400,000 pay-per-views on Fox. Now, the reason why I think it's important is because, we have a tendency in boxing, or promoters and the people that are involved with the financial side of making these fights. Oftentimes they have an idea about when a fight can be a big fight, a big financial fight, to wait until it gets to the point where you can maximize the money that can be made. There's a lot of people that have interest in doing that. Managers have an interest in doing that. Promoters have an interest in doing that. Television networks have an have a interest in doing that. And I think that it's definitely a fact that, or believed, reasonably assumed is probably the better word, that Terence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. fight is one of the biggest 3 fights in boxing, along with Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua. One of the Canelo fights. Maybe Canelo, God dog, man. Canelo, Gennady Golovkin, if that's still big, but that's over on DAZN, so whatever. But the Canelo fight, a big Canelo fight, maybe a Lomachenko Mikey fight, but I think I believe a Lomachenko Mikey fight. I agree with Bob Arum that that might have lost some luster since Mikey Garcia got dog walked by Errol Spence. Regardless, man, you get my point, man. It's that big fight. But if Terence Crawford doesn't do big numbers or do numbers that seem somewhat comparable to Errol Spence and Mikey Garcia, then the argument would be, or the thought could be, from the manager point of view, the promoter point of view, that why make the fight? Why make the fight right now? And then there's going to be all kind of conversations. Hopefully not, but this is 2019, man, and the negotiations, negotiation styles. Obviously, man, these for fights are like viruses. They're contagious. So now we're gonna have a bunch of conversations about who's the A side. Is Terence Crawford the A side? Is Errol Spence Jr. the A side? Terence Crawford, does he have to go to Dallas? Does Errol need to go to Nebraska? Does it have to be on a local? All of that type of stuff. And if Terence Crawford does like 150,000 pay-per-views to 100,000 pay-per-views, something like that, man, that's going to be a real tough. That's going to it's going to be an argument to say, man, we need to make the fight go longer. Wait longer for the fight. And God, man, it might turn into something like a Aaron Pryor, Sugar Ray Leonard type of situation, man. Where there's just where the fight never happens. And that would be really, really unfortunate, man. And I worry about it because, when you listen to Bud, I just really wish he had not signed with Top Rank, man, and ESPN. He just doesn't get inside of that promotional outfit and their media outlet that they're associated with, ESPN. He just does not get the credit that he deserves. He gets more positive exposure and more held in a higher regard amongst conversations taking place with the PBC than he does with over there at Top Rank and ESPN. To listen to Max Kellerman and Mark Kragel, Andre Ward, and Tim Bradley go back and forth about who's pound for pound, and after Lomachenko's fight, and have Andre Ward have to stick his neck out there and get to basically beat down the argument that Max Kellerman is trying to make about since Terence Crawford is number one. They asked who, first of all, Max Kellerman asked who number one was, and Andre Ward said Terence Crawford so affirmatively that Mark Kragel had to, after they asked that question, answer the question, say, well, yeah, Terence Crawford right now. And Errol and Max Kellerman said, yeah, Terence Crawford right now, all kind of half-hearted about it. But he said, but after this performance with Vasyl Lomachenko, it just got a little bit closer. I mean, even if you believe that's true, man, that's telling you this. And it's telling you this, that Max Kellerman does not think that Terence Crawford is above and beyond the top guy fighting on his network, must-watch TV. It's the guy that just got done beating up on a tomato can. And when you listen to Bob Arum talk about Lomachenko, right? He talks about Lomachenko like he said just last week, this is a once-in-a-generation type of fighter, right? And before he said, this is the best fighter since Ali. Well, that tells you he believes that Lomachenko is better than Terence Crawford. So you have your own promoter saying that Terence Crawford is the second best thing that he has, in his stable, with Top Rank, with his promotional company. That Terence Crawford is second fiddle to Lomachenko. So why would people be all, super interested in seeing him fight when his fight is pay-per-view? We're the second best guy. You're charging money to see for the second best guy, but your ESPN Plus app, you get the best guy. It is much watch TV. I really wish he hadn't signed there. But anyway, man, when you're not promoting Terence Crawford like that, and if the numbers don't go well, that's just going to make it that much harder to make this fight. I do believe that Errol Spence Jr. would take that fight. Terence Crawford would take the fight. I'm just really not that what's the word, man? I'm just not that hopeful that the fight is going to happen anytime soon. So anyway, it is what it is. Well, hopefully the Samir Khan fight will do really, really well. And, you know, it'll put pressure. Hopefully Errol Spence Jr. will go to the fight and put pressure on making the fight happen. I think that would be great. Otherwise, man, you know, we'll get some other unification fights in welterweight division, and I'll take those as well. Anyway, it is what it is. And with that, I'm out. Peace.